Okay, so yeah, this is a good topical talking point for us is Ebola. So
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know about you guys, but
launch in.
I'm sort of like an unofficial expert. I've been playing a lot and have played a lot of Pandemic 2.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
uh-huh.
So I'm kind of an expert when it comes to, like diseases, viruses, and the like. So
Right.
I think, really what we got to watch out for is just right when Madagascar shuts down their ports, that's when shit's hit the fan.
Yeah.
Actually, we should be moving to Madagascar, because that seems to be the safest place in the world if I've learned anything from that game.
Yep.
Although I really feel like Ebola should be putting more of its points right now into spreading and not so much into symptoms. Like, it banged way too quick into, like, bleeding from your pores. Like, it should have put more into, like, animal spreading and, like, airborne spreading. It's really putting all its eggs in one basket, and I think that's bad for it in the long run.
Yeah, it needs to sell the symptoms, which I think are only like 6 points. It needs to sell the symptoms, and then, make sure waterborne, airborne are chosen. Make sure, if it has the extra points, grab some rodents, insects, and then just start going after, drugs, moisture, cold, and hot.
Yeah, cold and heat immunity, because right now it's really isolated, like in the middle, like in the tropics, or in the warmer areas. If it can get cold immunity, then it can spread to Alaska.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's all. Yeah,
what's interesting is I read an entire article all about how everyone's always worried about it becoming airborne, right? Because right now Ebola is not airborne, and this doctor was like, "You guys, you're worrying about the total, like, a complete wrong thing. It being airborne actually wouldn't make it that much more deadly. Like, sure, it would infect more people and it would be more deadly, but the thing that we really don't want it to do is be worse at its job." Right now, the reason that Ebola isn't as scary as it could be is because it kills everyone before they can pass it on. Like, entire villages will get it, and then the entire village dies. So it's like, it never moves anywhere. They said if it could increase its longevity in the human body by even, like, a week, we would be totally up a creek. Because then everyone would get infected, and it's terrible. Did you guys ever see the movie Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman?
Oh, yeah.
It was all about Ebola.
Was
that movie
that
scared
Ebola?
the shit out of me as a kid. Yeah. It was
I didn't
totally
remember
Ebola.
what sort of like virus they had in there.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like in the movie, it's called the Motaba virus. It's not like literally Ebola, but it kills everyone in 3 days because it liquefies their internal organs and they bleed from every orifice. So it's straight up Ebola, like straight up 100%.
Man.
So yeah, it's totally crazy. But I'm kind of afraid, like, this is a total, like, weird segue, but I'm kind of afraid of how much power the CDC has, though. Like, because they can step into situations and be like, okay, we're just gonna fucking nuke Dallas. Tough shit. Like, here we go. And
To be fair, I think most people would be on board for that anyway.
Right. As long as there's no fallout in Austin, because I love Austin.
Keep it weird.
Keep it weird, Austin.
No,
But nothing
they
would
stole
keep
that.
it-
That's our thing. Austin can't have keep it weird. That's Portland's thing.
Here's the
They're
thing,
thieves.
though, Portland has become so meta that it doesn't need a thing anymore, right? You can give it to Austin. People know about Portland. You don't need a tagline. It's just, you say Portland and people know. You don't need to explain.
Although we've kind of unofficially changed to put a bird on it. So that's kind of our new thing. Like, we can't get rid of it. Everyone who comes to us, the first thing they say. So,
Okay.
all right. You can have it, Austin. I'm officially resigning it to you. Keep it
Anton, the president of Portland, has officially resigned.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, that show's so good.
Anyways, speaking of shows, I was going to say, according to the strain, the CDC does not have enough power because they tried to stop that whole vampire thing and it didn't work, and now there's vampires everywhere.
So, with Ebola, like, how bad does it have to get for, like, you guys to start worrying enough to start taking some sort of action? Be that you guys go buy Robitussin in bulk, or you guys, like, leave the country?
My first warning would be like news about it dying off, but then like a lot of people still dying. Like, you get those conspiracies, like a lot of mysterious deaths or deaths with no real explanation. That would freak me out.
Yeah, wait for the Shaun of the Dead moment when, like, you're walking down the street and there's just, like, bodies and stuff, and you're like, something seems weird today. What's going on?
Fuck, John, this is serious.
Or like traffic is
sorry.
really light for a long time. Like 3 or 4 days in a row, it's like really light traffic. Like, I'm staying home for a week.
Okay, so in order for you guys to get worried, a gigantic, like, quarter of the world has to be dead. and then you guys will start to notice? Is that what you're saying?
No.
You're saying a noticeable change in traffic. That's like a huge percentage of like Portland gone.
Right. And if it's that many in Portland, it's probably a lot everywhere. No, honestly, like, I'll be totally real with you guys. Like, there are things that I worry about that I shouldn't. And one of the things that I worry about all the time is we, like humanity in general, we are ripe for an extinction event. Like, not total extinction, but like, it is time. You know what I mean? Like, the whole counterbalance system that has kind of been around since humanity showed up. And you can attribute it to whatever you want. Like, I don't care if you want to say it's God or it's fate or it's just Mother Earth protecting herself or whatever. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's time. Like, it's time for a black or a bubonic plague or a Spanish flu or a something that severely decimates the population.
Well, yeah, it's true. Like,
it's like overdue.
We're at like, what, 7 billion? Which is like, like at least double what the world's supposed to support. So, I mean, we honestly do kind of need to lose like a couple bill, like, quick.
But what sucks, like, I mean, like, take this however you want, but what sucks is the people that die first, you know what I mean? Because there's such a huge swath of humanity that just doesn't even have a fighting chance if something like that happens, you know what I mean? Like, we're pretty lucky here in the United States. We're not the most lucky. We don't have socialized healthcare. But we're pretty lucky, you know what I mean? Yeah. But there's other countries where it's like they'll just, I don't know.
I'm not too worried over here in the U.S. Like, I really think, I mean, the news channels are already freaking out about this like 24/7. Mm-hmm. So if there's any noticeable increase in deaths, I'm sure that someone will be all over it and we would be fine. But like places like India, like that's, I mean, geographically,
and stuff.
Yeah, geographically, that's not that far from Africa. Like, it could easily spread to India and get into those slums. And I mean, we're talking millions of people will be lost in like weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
probably,
it's such a huge concern.
Maybe even billions. Like, especially because even in their community, everyone's so close. They still have a lot of like outdoor things. Like, if that makes sense. Like, here in America, we pretty much keep to ourselves.
Yeah,
right?
they shit in the road.
Exactly. They shit in the road, you guys.
And they believe in like holistic medicines. So they're going to get sick and they have like 2 or 3 days to legitimately seek out serious help. And they're not going to do it. They're going to, use traditional medicines, or they're going to pray, or they're going to do all kinds of shit that's going to have absolutely no effect. And meanwhile, they're going to be cooking food and eating together. And, it's just...
Right.
Do you know who has their shit together when it comes to stuff like this? Japan. I really like that in Japan, when people are sick, they wear masks so they don't get everyone else sick. Like, we need to adopt that kind of behavior.
I was just going to say, Japan is the Madagascar of Asia. So,
yeah, they are.
They got it on lockdown. As long as they're not getting hit with something radioactive or giant sea monsters.
Say, tsunamis or Godzilla, they're safe.
Or earthquakes. Or volcanoes.
Or radioactive power plants. I mean, those are the things that they got to watch out for. But they're not worried about Ebola. Like, they got that shit on lockdown.
Right. So, they're like, no, everyone's wearing their mask. Like, senpai is safe. We're okay.
Yeah. Yep. I think what I'll do if it starts getting like really nasty, like they start talking to like quarters of the population, like stuff like that. I think I'm gonna go to Iceland or Greenland.
Yeah.
Good call.
Go where it's too cold.
Well, just like not many people live there.
Oh, it's like low density or low population density.
And it's an island.
My question:
so.
Why would you jump to there instead of like honestly like North Dakota? Because you could get to North Dakota a lot faster, and you're not going to see anybody.
It's true. Well, but that's still in the continental U.S. I want to get out.
Right, that's what I'm asking. Why do you need to get out of the U.S.?
Well, why not? It's a good opportunity. Right,
but it's a better opportunity to stay close so that after everyone dies, you can seize power. like, you need to be close enough that you can run back into town and steal all the shit.
I don't want power, because like no one listens.
Ryan, I would listen.
You'd be killed so fast. Could you imagine if we had complete anarchy? Whoever's in control is actually in trouble. Real quick. It's just going to be people toppling each other over and over again.
Well, that's true. Whoever's in control first is screwed. Yeah. Right? Because, it's just going to happen. But like second and third, probably, we'll say like fourth or fifth down the line, they'll probably be set for their life. Actually,
I may change my option. I may go to Australia so I can live out my Mad Max fantasy.
That's fair.
That does not include the chaps, though, by the way, just for anyone wondering. Because I'm not a homosexual man.
Oh, okay. Just checking. I mean,
not that all homosexual men would like dig chaps, but I'm just saying.
Is it too soon in the podcast for me to reveal that I do have chaps?
Are they assless chaps?
And I wear them on my motorcycle? Of course not.
All chaps are assless chaps.
Yes. If they're true chaps, they're assless.
True.
If not, they're just leather pants. Let's be honest. That's all they are. And I'm not going to wear leather pants because the swamp ass / swalls that would happen in those, I don't even want to think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Swats and swalls.
Swalls, swesticles. I don't even want to think about it. I do like Australia, though. Like, that's a good choice, especially because you'll have tons of shit to do. You know what I mean? Like, fight off drop bears, stuff like that. So it'll keep you busy. Whereas I'm just going to be in a cabin in the woods with a rifle, just daring people to come within 250 yards of my cabin.
I don't feel like I would want to go that far from a city, though. Like, I would get far enough out of a city. Like, there's a lot of, like, low-dense population areas near city centers.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need resources, like,
yeah, that's true.
Drastically. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not a wilderness guy. There's certain luxuries that, unfortunately, I'm going to require. I'm going to be a big pussy and need stuff. And I don't know, I don't seriously think that I could go out and hunt well enough to kill enough food to keep me alive or like farm fast enough. Like I would need to get food from somewhere.
Well, Anton, I'll make you a deal. You city hop to North Dakota where I will have hunted enough food for the both of us.
All right.
Yeah, I guess we should all just...
You just bring whiskey, cigarettes, and toilet paper. Because we're going to get the most money out of those.
It's true, man. Cigarettes are the currency of the future.
They really are.
Yep.
I really do always choose the shittiest time to take a drink, don't I? It's like right at the end of a statement, and then we're all like...
Well, yeah, you took a sip, I think, like when we killed it. That conversation is cached.
Fine. Ebola, get out.
Solve
that. If you guys want to know how we feel about Ebola, you're going to have to check... the cached Google site.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's done.
It's dead.
It's dead.
It's gone.
It did not seek medical attention in time.
Which there's like still news coming out about the fappening. Like I got a notification. Oh, I shouldn't say notification. That makes me sound like there was news. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Oh, J Law's Esquire thing or whatever it was.
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, it's just like there's like still stuff happening where they're like, oh, they just found more photos of someone else, and I'm like, seriously, this is still going on, like. Or is it just that, like, from now on, anytime anyone takes a nude photo anywhere, it's just going to be umbrellaed under the fappening?
It might be for a while.
You know, it's like, and it's probably completely unrelated. I bet new stuff's happening all the time, and it's just...
They're like, oh my gosh, Pamela Anderson, we just found.
Wow.
Like, yeah, that's been around since, like, 92. Way to go. Way to go, Internet. You guys are champions.
I find it interesting, though, that she said that everyone who... Not even the people who stole the pictures and posted them online, but the people who viewed the pictures, like that in itself, she says, was like a sex offense. She said it was like she feels violated by everyone who looked at them. And it's, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it's one thing to attack the people who like invaded your privacy and posted your personal stuff online. Like that's terrible. And that's actually a crime. But like, you're like a media elite. You got to know this shit's going to happen sometimes. And when it does, like, people are going to be interested. Like, if you were Joe Schmo on 2nd Street, no one would care.
Well, if you were me, it wouldn't matter.
Well, I forget what magazine was talking about it, but one guy essentially said, well, because in the picture, or like in the article, she was kind of like basically half naked while she's talking about her like leaked photos.
Yeah.
And like one guy was talking about it, and he was basically saying she's upset because she wants to control the pictures and she wants to get paid for them, and that's basically what it is.
I don't know. Like the hardest part for me is like what I always have to come back to, so I can just kind of wash my hands of the whole situation. Is shit's different when you're a girl. Like I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know what that feels like to like be afraid and feel victimized and feel all that. Like, seriously, I know that we made the joke before, but it's totally true. If, like, nude pictures of me leaked, I would be embarrassed as hell, like, for sure, but that's basically it. And once that died down, I'd be like, okay, whatever, you know? It's just, I don't know, it's a different world as a girl. I don't know what that feels like, so I can't really say she's right, she's wrong. All I know is that, once again, my total opinion is let it die. Just let it die.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do.
Right. And I don't think, like, she can technically be, like, right or wrong, because it's, you know, it's her opinion, it's her picture, stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know how I feel about her going after people who looked at it.
Right.
I mean, obviously the people who, you know, posted it and all that stuff, those, you know, that should never happen. They're bad people for doing it. But I don't know.
Right, and I mean, it's just, we get into this debate all the time in society, right? And it's just a difference between laws and morals. It's like, legally, no, the people didn't do anything wrong, sorry. Morally, yeah, you should probably be morally outraged. That's fine. Like, that's fine. I have moral issue with all sorts of things people do, but if it's not legally wrong, I can't, like, complain about it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. People, when I'm out jogging on the road who are texting and driving, I'm like, you're gonna kill me. Like, that's super morally wrong. But here in Utah, it's not illegal. So I can't get mad about it. Like, I can't complain to the cops because they'll just laugh at me. You know what I mean? So it's like, it sucks, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. And I guess it is kind of nice that that's, like, one of the biggest problems right now that is in the news. I mean, of the bad things that the media could be happening that we could be needing to pay attention to. It's like we've got Ebola, ISIS, and stuff happening.
Right, yeah.
So after the two bad things, we're pretty much in the clear, you know? There's not a lot of shit going on in the world right now. Yeah. Well, I guess there's a lot of that's an ignorant statement. There's a lot of shit going on. But.
Yeah, there's always a lot of shit, right? We're just not cognizant of all of it. But the most crazy thing that I read in the news lately was they talked about how North Korea has announced that 2015 will be the year of unification, and they're gearing up for all-out war. And I was like, seriously, how misinformed are the leaders in North Korea that they do not realize they are going to get their shit pushed in? Like, they are nothing.
Well, is South Korea that prepared, though?
No, they're not interested whatsoever.
Honestly, South Korea doesn't give a shit because they know immediately if anything happens, 1 billion people will be on their side, us included. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
we're allies with them. They know
China will back North Korea, though.
No, they won't. China already came out and said they think that they're freaking crazy. Like, yeah, maybe things will change by that point, and they'll be like, yeah, we're totally on North Korea's side. But before, when North Korea was, like, testing the dirty bombs and, like, launching them, and everyone was at, like, DEFCON 1 because everything was so scary, China was basically like, hey, North Korea, quit fucking around. Like, it's not funny. We don't have your back. Quit jerking the world around, basically.
I have zero evidence and didn't see anything about this on the news, but I am pretty sure that China is the reason why North Korea kind of went quiet for, I mean, it's been better part of a year since they were having their big tantrums last time. Right. So, I mean, it was like tantrums, and then they had Dennis Rodman to, like, cool them down a little bit. And then, like, they went silent for a year. And so now they're causing a fuss again. And I don't know, I think it's almost like a big political play. Like, I don't really think they have any intention of doing anything whatsoever. They don't really seem like they ever are actually gearing up for anything.
They either need to, like, take a shit or get off the pot. Like, they need to put, like, their money where their mouth is, or, you know, whatever, like, other phrases you can think of.
I totally agree with you, but I think that it's all for the benefit of the people, right? Because they have been screwing over their own population for so long that I feel like they're kind of, like, and obviously they control all news. All news flow within their own country, right?
Right.
So I'm sure that the way that they're presenting it is they're like, we just whipped out our dick to the world and they're not doing shit. See, we have your guys' back.
Well, yeah, of course they're doing it. Like, we've seen, like, their videos where they basically talk about, like, how they beat the pants off, like, people.
Everyone, right?
Yeah.
And Kim Jong-un, like,
didn't they say they won the Olympics also?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't win, like, they won the most gold medals.
Right.
For sure. And yeah, there was like Kim Jong-il had a perfect game of golf and it's while he had dysentery. And it's like all this stupid crap that doesn't matter. But what's funny is that, like, I really think they're doing it so their own people don't murder them all in their sleep. Like, all the rulers.
Right.
Because that place is close to, like, Russia around Bolshevik Revolution. Like, that's how volatile things are right now, where they're just sick of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I feel like it's just,
I think there's the misconception that all North Korean citizens are just completely brainwashed and in, like, part of this, you know, dystopian society. It's like, they know what's going on. They're not stupid. They're incredibly intelligent, actually. And most of them, like, have fully aware of what's going on, but they can't do anything about it. I mean, there's a lot of legal and, military and police tape around them. They can't do anything.
Right. They even try to get out of North Korea and they disappear and no one ever hears from them again. So, I mean, their hands are kind of tied.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I don't know. And yeah, like, I honestly believe, like, South Korea is like your pot-smoking friend. Like, they just don't care, right? They have, like, 50 gig internet. They're all playing freaking Dota all day long.
Yeah, StarCraft.
Like, seriously, like, it just doesn't matter, you know what I mean? They're not worried. They're like, North Korea's been like this since the Korean War. Like, whatever. This is just the way things are.
Well, and they all know that China is a huge, like, stabilizing factor in that region. Like, as long as China's doing okay and their economy is, I think they said now, the strongest economy in the entire world, like, that area is going to be fine. Everyone's going to be able to leech off that success, and it's a really, really, really stable area. There hasn't been any major conflicts, like, serious, like, war-style conflicts in that area, especially in China, for like 100 years. It's been a really long time. And besides like the Korean War, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a very stable area. It's not the Middle East. So like, don't cause waves right now. Like, I don't see anyone messing that up anytime soon.
Let's just all be cool guys. Let's all get along.
The next major thing I see happening in Asia is some sort of, like, serious commercial revolution in China, where they finally kind of just come out as completely capitalist, and I think the government might change, like, slowly as younger people continue getting elected or put into offices over there, and places of power. But
well, I mean, how long has Hong Kong been their crutch, right? Like, Hong Kong kept that place afloat for a really long time, and I think that they're not idiots. They know what's up. They know what's kept them afloat. They know what's going on, and I mean, for better or for worse. Well, it's not anymore. Eventually. Well, when they make the whole world shit, literally.
Hong Kong doesn't make all the world shit, though.
No, but China does.
Right.
Like, they are not wanting for economic growth. It just sucks that they can still blanket it under a government where the people doing the actual work make like 7 cents an hour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the working conditions are horrible. And I mean, there are so many of them that there's going to be a revolution at some point. I mean, the working class that gets paid shit is the vast majority. Yeah. And that, I mean, that's our economy on the extreme in way bigger numbers, and they're going to get unhappy, and something's going to happen soon. They'll get some workers' rights that'll get passed in some way.
It doesn't matter, because 3/4 of the world population is going to Ebola, so it doesn't
matter.
That's
true. Yeah, right.
Doesn't matter. It's true. Ryan, are you doodling?
Nope.
Oh.
I'm going to make all our stuff after Ebola.
I took my pen apart and put it back together.
Ooh,
I did do that, though.
What kind of pen are you rocking? This is actually very important.
This is a Beck Ultra round something grip.
If I might make a plug, and Anton, you can ask these people to sponsor us. This is the Uniball Jetstream.
Oh, yeah, I have one of those.
I'm all about the Jetstream.
I feel like it doesn't disperse fast enough.
Uniball as well.
Oh. Uniball.
This is an unbranded pen.
Also, the Lance Armstrong.
But Lance Armstrong.
Uniball.
Oh. I really didn't.
You see what I did there?
It's fun.
It's funny because he only has one testicle.
Oh. Does he still have one? I thought he got them both removed finally. Oh no, he just got
finally. What do you mean? Like, he's just man, I need to get this last one, but I have groceries to get. I'll do it another day.
Well, no, it just makes him faster on his bike, right?
Well, they determined he was disqualified from having one testicle, so they went back and retroactively took that one too.
Right. That's what. Oh my god! All the juicing. He didn't deserve the testicle. They took it back. He didn't deserve it.
Took it away.
They gave it to some French guy.
Maybe that's what, like, your man card actually is it's your testes.
Maybe.
When they take your man card away, they take your balls off.
If that's true, then I really need to stop drinking as much soy milk as I do.
Dude, you're supposed to be drinking almond, man. Soy, there's estrogen in that crap. You're going to grow boobs.
But the joke wouldn't be funny if I said almond milk.
I'm just watching out for you, dude. Just
no, I know. I drink almond milk.
Okay.
For days. For days.
Put that silk down, John.
Put the silk down. Dude, I'm already fat. I already have boobs. I don't need help from estrogen, okay? I could already fill out like a maybe like big A, small B cup. I don't need any help in that area. Wow, you both went real quiet. Thanks, guys.
I just didn't have any funny quips loaded and ready to go.
We're talking about lots of IRL feels tonight, aren't we?
Serious feels.
All the feels. When I get that feel, I need that sexual heal.
Yes. Oh, you know what joke we haven't made yet about the feels? Like this, if you cry every time.
If you cry every time.
This is actually good. My roommate has a really good theory, and I want to know what you guys think. I'm just going to throw it out there. Okay. He says that every person, like, everybody has their own theory. Like, oh, there's 2 types of people. Well, he says there's more types of people. And you can determine what type of a person someone is by defining them by a room in a house. And he says he is a bedroom person. He's always in his bedroom. Anytime he's home, he's in his bedroom. He keeps to himself. He likes to be like sitting in his bed, doing his own thing. And then he says that I am a living room person because I'm always in the living room. I'm playing PlayStation or I'm watching movies or I have people over. So like I'm more outgoing, I'm more talkative, I'm more friendly. What do you guys think?
Well, it's true, but it's just because you just described an introvert versus an extrovert.
Well, right, but there's also bathroom people.
An office. I feel like I'm an office.
No, I'm just
person.
kidding. I don't know what a bathroom person would be.
I think that's constipated people.
Yeah. That's who that is.
Yeah.
People who don't eat enough fiber.
Yeah.
Bathroom people.
Or people who really care what they look like. There are people who spend like hours a day getting ready for stuff.
That's actually good. That's good, Anton. So, I like that.
Like,
bathroom
maybe
people.
You feel most comfortable in front of a mirror.
Vain
altering
people.
your appearance.
Dude, vain people. You just crushed
vain
it.
People.
Like, seriously, you just blew my mind.
There's introverted, extroverted, and vain.
Yeah, introverted, extroverted, and asshole. Those are like 3 on the personality, right? No, but then there's like kitchen people, like people who are always making food, eating food, chilling in the kitchen.
So there's
not fat people.
There's introverted, extroverted, vain, and fat.
Right. Vain, fat, and what's another room? Office.
Yes. I sit on a computer all day. Or just
boring people.
Lazy with an addictive personality. Like, oh, what's this game? I'm going to play this for 600 hours.
Dude, I'm serious. The worst invention for video games ever was keeping track of how many hours I've put into that video game.
God, I know.
I don't want to know. Quit keeping track of that shit. Like, it's not a bragging point for me. I don't want to tell someone that I spent 80 hours playing Dark Souls in one weekend. Like, I don't... Wait, that's not even possible. But it doesn't matter. Point still stands.
I'm getting dangerously close to passing the 400-hour mark in Diablo 3, and it's really making me evaluate my life. It's like, the thing about it is that I'm really good at Diablo 3, but that doesn't really mean much.
What is it? What's the joke? It's like, you say you're really good at checkers. What that tells me is that you're not really good at a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. Master of one.
Yeah.
And now the WoW expansion is coming out in November, so just kiss my whole fucking winter goodbye.
Yeah, I guess I won't be talking to you much in
like I'll be
November, Anton.
I'm raiding, but I'm podcasting. I gotta.
Yeah. We're like, Anton, why haven't you looked at the camera once? Why are you sweating?
Hold on.
Wipe the Cheeto dust off your fingers.
Yep. So there's that. And then before that was Civ 5. Civ 5 got me. I think I have like 5. Like Steam is the worst because Steam tracks all your games. Yeah. So you can see how much combined time you have. That's the worst.
Yeah, that's not good. I don't want to know that shit. It's funny because the last time I waited in line at like a video game retailer, it was for a World of Warcraft expansion. Mm-hmm. Wasn't even for me. It was for a buddy, and he just asked if I'd wait up for him, right? So I took my dad's truck. I took a couch, I threw it in the back of the truck, and we just threw a couch down in line and just chilled on a couch and played video games because we brought like a TV and everything like that. And it was awesome because we had like everyone in line was coming up because we had a Nintendo 64 and we were playing Smash Brothers and Mario Kart. So like everybody wanted in. It was just cool.
That's awesome.
And since we're the ones who brought it, I don't think I passed my controller once because fuck those people.
Yeah. You definitely don't have to do that.
Yeah, I did.
Your truck couch.
And I won't.
God damn it.
Right. And they sat on the concrete. I was like, don't sully my couch with your dirty ass.
Like stretched way out and took the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
super
just
comfy.
laying on it. I didn't even let my friend sit on it. He also had to sit on the ground.
On the ground. Oh, jeez. Yeah. I haven't waited outside like for a midnight release since a WoW expansion. The last thing I waited for was the the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. That was
I think that's actually the one that I was waiting for. I'm not even kidding.
Yep.
Yeah.
I waited in line one time like 15 minutes for my PS2. That's the only time I've ever waited in line for video game-ish things.
So long ago.
Yep.
Dude, you're so hardcore, Ryan.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, is that when other people say stuff like that, I'm like, you're such a fucking hipster. When you say it, I'm like, that dude's legit.
I believe it.
Like, he knows what life is about.
He was probably doing important stuff.
Right. He had a life. While I was sitting on my couch playing Mario Kart. What's funny is that's one of those things, waiting in line for something. Every once in a while, like, my brain does this thing where I get a hankering for something, right? Where I'm like, do you know what I haven't done in years? Like, gone to a midnight movie. Yeah. Anytime my brain does that, it's not a good choice. Like, I'm like, you know what I haven't done in a long time? Gone to a midnight movie. I go to the midnight movie, and it is packed full of teenage assholes. And I'm like, oh, right. It's not because it's not fun. It's because dickbags ruin it. That's why I don't do this anymore. Yep. And, like, I do that to myself all the time, where I'm like, hey, I haven't done X in a long time. And I leave going, oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm never doing that again. Like, Black Friday shopping.
Mm-hmm. Fuck you people. If any of you are the people who go out on Black Friday and go shopping, fuck you. You're the worst. There's nothing worse than, having to work a retail job. And beyond having to work a retail job, like, when somebody just comes up and pisses right in your Cheerios is when you have to work on a holiday like Black Friday. You people are senseless, insane maniacs that are just buying crap. You're not buying anything good. You're getting cheap stuff, even cheaper than normal, and you're ruining people's lives to get it.
Yeah, it's consumerism at its worst. And I've worked a lot of Black Fridays in retail, but I have never shopped on a Black Friday yet.
Me either. Yeah. I refuse to. I will never do that.
I have from the comfort of my own home with online sales. Mm. That's it. Like, I'll do that. That's fine. Whatever. I know that there's still someone in a warehouse somewhere working, but at least he doesn't have to deal with people. He or she.
Poor servers.
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, it's funny because I've been in several, I will call them altercations in the public in my life. That's all I'll say. But the more important point is there have only been like 2 times that I have wanted to file assault charges. And one was when I was working retail during Black Friday. This was the year that Cabbage Patch Kids came back. I don't know if you guys remember that, but like they were dead for years and years and years. Yeah. And then it was like, let's see, it would have been like 2005, something like that. For the holiday season, Cabbage Patch Kids came back, right? So this lady shows up. We were open until I want to say like 11 or something like that, or maybe it was midnight, and I was working the night. So I miss all the craziness in the morning, but I was there at night, right? And what sucks about working the night is that you have to deal with telling everyone that you're out of stock, right? The people who show up and want the deal that obviously you sold out in 10 minutes and whatever. So this lady shows up, and she's like, hey, I want a Cabbage Patch Kid. I'm like, oh yeah, they're back there. And she's like, yeah, I already looked back there. And I like look over, and there's still like 2 boxes left, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's where they are, you know? And she's like, yeah, but the one I want isn't there. And I'm like, well, what one do you want? And she's like, well, the ones there just won't work. So I'm like, what the freak? So I run over to where they are, right? Both of the Cabbage Patch Kids, black. Straight up, right? And this lady straight up told me to my face, like, how am I going to explain to my daughter why her baby doll is black? And I'm like, lady, like, I do not have time for your nonsense right now. Those are the ones we have. If those don't work, you're going to have to go somewhere else. And she's like, no, I want you to go in the back because I know you have more, right? They always think that the back room is a magical room full of unending stock, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, lady, I am telling you, if you want a Cabbage Patch doll and you want to purchase it here, those are the only 2, right? And I'm like, I'm sorry, like, those are your options. And the lady started hitting me. Like, she started swinging at me, right? And I am at work. I'm in my work uniform. So I'm like, I can't hit this lady. Like, I can't even push her away from me. So I'm like walking over to my manager while this lady is hitting me. And I'm like, dude, can you do something? And he basically had to get security, which is like our janitor and another manager, to escort the lady out of the building. But seriously, I was like, I should freaking get that lady arrested. This is bananas.
You could seriously do some legal damage to her for doing that.
That's insane. But what I want to know...
It made me so mad because I was like, only in Utah. Only in Utah will you come up to me and say that the black Cabbage Patch Kids are going to cause too much Christmas confusion. I'm like, it's a doll. Your daughter's not going to care. It doesn't matter. Like, you pretend like there's this huge amount of explaining you're going to have to do. Your daughter's not giving birth to the Cabbage Patch Kid. Like, that... It is what it is. I'm sorry.
And even more so, if you have a kid that cares that they got the black doll instead of the white doll, you've already improperly parented your child. You already have a racist child. Do you realize
kid is a shit and deserves to die at Willy Wonka's factory. That's all there is to it.
Like, he's a Glumpus Gloop.
Man. But I want to know why people think that stores would store stuff in the back and not put it out for sale. Like, a store's only job is to take their shit and set it on a shelf so that you can buy it. If they're not doing that, they're failing as a store. So why would there be a magical back room, especially on a day like Black Friday? They put out extra shelves and extra displays, and they just at Best Buy where we worked, man, they just piled laptops, fucking stacks of laptops, whatever, fucking come get them, knock it down. It's a big fucking, it's a tree full of laptops.
No, that's the thing, is like, I had a magic back room. Do you know what it was full of? The $4.99 movies that we had 800 copies of and no one was buying. Yeah. That's what we had. Like, Boondock Saints 2 All Saints Day. Classic. We have 1 million copies of it, right? Like, we can't get rid of it. If you want to go in the back room to get a copy of that, be my guest. I'll punch in the code for you. You could pick one up. Like, that's all there is to it.
Every warehouse has a Wii Sports section where they just store the 10,000 extra copies of Wii Sports that every electronics store on the planet has. They printed so many fucking copies of that game, and it never really... I mean, it's still one of the best-selling games of all time because they gave it away with every Wii. But nobody went out and bought Wii Sports, you know? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, and it's funny because you get to learn these titles, like, of video games or movies or even CDs, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, that's the graveyard for this or that, right? Where it's like, people thought it was going to sell way better than it did. Now we're just swimming in it trying to give it away. Where we're like, buy any movie and you can have a copy of this for free. Like
Chinese Democracy. Right. That album. Dude,
nice.
Every Best Buy, like Best Buy had an exclusive deal where they got like just shit tons of that fucking album way ahead of time and could sell it before anyone else. And every Best Buy, I guarantee if you go into Best Buy right now, any Best Buy in the country and ask for that album, they'll have it.
Right.
Guaranteed. It'll have a layer of
stuff
dust
where
on
when
top.
you're doing inventory, it's like, how many copies do I have? 70. How many are we keeping? 1. Pack them all up, ship them back to corporate. That's all there is to it.
Send it to the incinerator. Fuck it.
But I really just want to find like the biggest, most expensive like Millennium Falcon actual model and just build it or something. But
yeah, dude, I used to love building like model planes. I used to build those fuckers all the time. That's really good fun. I'd love to do like another really hard one with like 10,000 pieces.
Yeah.
Instead of the glue and the toothpicks. It's a good way to pass time.
It's the glue, man. That's what I really like about it.
Yeah.
It was cool because I had a group of like 10 friends that all played Warhammer 40K. And they would always bring their figurines to me to paint. And I loved it, dude. Like, it was so much fun, like, painting armor and making it look all, like, distressed and stuff like that. That was way fun. Yeah, I could do that again. Especially because, like, shit like that, it's just so soothing for the soul. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Just, like,
it's
sitting down and then having a finished product, you know, like... Mm-hmm. After an hour or 2 hours, whatever, you look down and you're like, I have made this, you know? Like, I got really into for a while, and I still do it from time to time. I should do it more often, but I got really into spray paint art on canvases, and I would make them for people at work.
On buildings?
Like buildings?
No, dude.
Tagging pretty hard, you know?
Yeah, no.
Joined a gang.
I'm still way too much of chicken shit to, like...
You guys may have seen my tag. It's just a dick.
Yeah. You might have.
It's all over the place.
It goes across 3 whole trains. You know,
exactly.
It's pretty prominent.
Yeah.
When it goes in a tunnel, it's hilarious.
I laugh every time. But yeah, no, it was super cool because like, just learning new techniques and crap like that, and then like just I don't know, you spend some time, spend a little effort, and then you have something physical that you can touch and other people enjoy, and it's awesome. I love crap like that. I love building things and making things and doing new things that you're not comfortable with. Sorry, I had eyebrows.
Quickly.
Yeah.
What sort of activities?
Like putting things in your mouth. Maybe you haven't before.
Latex and feathers.
Culinary arts.
No, but seriously, one thing I do want to get into is gastronomy, like all the really weird cooking where like you use like citric acids to cook things or like other crazy stuff where it's like super chemistry science based, but it's still cooking. That shit seems interesting.
What do they call that? There's a name for that kind of food. It's like, I don't know. I can't think of it.
One time I made crystals out of sugar.
No, you didn't. Get out.
Yeah.
How'd you do that? Reveal your secrets to the world right now. Reveal your secrets. They will be mine. Oh, speaking of the quote, they will be mine, watched a classic movie the other day that I try to watch, I'll say every year, about Wayne's World. That movie, oh man, that will forever be ingrained in my personality and my character. I love that movie so much.
It's very good.
It's damn good.
It is.
But I haven't seen it in a long time.
I've seen it pretty recently.
It's good.
Yep.
It's good. You see, and that's another thing, like everybody has theories about like what type of people there are in the world. Yeah, there's two types of people in the world. There are Waynes and there are Garths. And it's funny because I feel like I'm more of a Wayne, but I like Garth more. Which makes sense because we would make a good duo. We'd make a good team.
Yeah, extrovert, introverted again.
Yeah. Same thing. Only an introvert who builds robots to kill Benjamin.
Yeah.
Watching the like behind the scenes, there's that whole scene where Benjamin like shows up and there's an arm on the table, and when Benjamin starts talking, it like starts freaking out, and Garth hits it like 20 times with a hammer. And it turns out that there was like this whole subplot where he was supposed to be building an android to kill Benjamin.
Oh, was that the subplot?
Yeah, where it was like reacting early. Doesn't it?
I was just like, why is Garth making a hand?
Yeah.
He's so random.
Yeah.
That Garth.
I do love when he goes out to the car and gets his like homemade cattle prod to shock that guy. Excuse me, I'd like to get through now.
I liked it until it went like super cartoony and it went like 4 times the speed while he was like doing the
holstering it, but he's not really doing anything impressive at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you lost me. You lost me for a second.
Then you must have hated Scott Pilgrim.
No, I love Scott Pilgrim.
Okay, good. Whew, that was close. Our friendship was teetering on the edge.
I feel like that movie gets really mixed reviews, though. Like, I know a lot of people who hated that movie. Like,
my roommate hated it, which is funny because I told him later, I'm like, yeah, one thing that was way cool is that Beck, like, made all the music. And he's like, what? Beck's, like, my favorite. I need to watch it again. I was like, you won't like the movie more. Like, it's not going to save it.
Who says Beck is their favorite?
Yeah,
I've never heard that.
That really weirded me out. He better mean, like, the beer.
No. He was talking about Beck. And Beck's not like his favorite of all time, but he loves Beck. But this is the same guy who was a drummer in a metal band for like 8 years. He's got a very wide and interesting music taste. That's all I'll say.
I don't want to spread rumors. I don't want to be a gossip, but I feel like I heard that Beck is a Scientologist, which makes me...
I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure
I heard that.
I feel like I could really easily find out.
How? How would you know?
Let me just think really hard about it.
Do you have a local library next?
Do you have like a reference compendium?
Do you have Encarta 2014?
You must have your camera.
I'm just going to call my parents. Really quick.
Okay. Use a lifeline.
Beck has been involved in Scientology for most of his life.
I knew it.
His wife Marissa is also a second-generation Scientologist.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Level 9,000.
Holy cow! Yeah, that's if you know the secret handshake going in.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a Scientologist. My father has been a Scientologist for about 35 years, so I grew up around it. Interesting. I did not know. I was going to tell you,
Why does Scientology attract famous people? There's so many famous Scientologists. It makes no damn sense.
I don't think it attracts famous people. I think it attracts rich people.
Yeah, because you buy your way up the ladder.
You can buy your way up the ladder, and it's like
it's
a way
pay to
that
win.
It is
pay to win. A lot of DLC.
Confirmed. Scientology was invented by EA. Confirmed.
Half-Life 3 is Scientology. We've been playing it the whole time.
Right. But I think that honestly, like, a lot of it has to, like, the people it attracts has a lot to do with hobnobbing. Like, you can meet a lot of people who can increase your, like, social prowess.
Like Ryan's just shoveling food in his mouth. Handfuls are not big enough anymore.
It's funny to me because, like, honestly, and I might have even mentioned this to you guys before, but I don't feel like there's anything more depressing than when you're eating a bag of chips and you get to the bottom and then you upend the bag of chips for the rest of it.
Yeah.
And like, that's just all I can see. I look up, I'm talking about Scientology, I'm trying to be real, I'm trying to talk about real feelings, and Ryan is freaking swallowing a bag of almonds.
Dude, I'm not gonna use my hands, man, that's gross.
Why is that gross?
I'm touching like keyboard.
You gotta go straight to your mouth.
And like, yeah, I just like right down my gullet.
Are you not touching your keyboard?
Yeah, I'm touching my keyboard.
Well, what's gross about it then?
Sometimes I come home from work, I don't wash my hands first and I touch my keyboard. So all the shit I touched at work is now on my keyboard, now on the almonds in my belly. That's disgusting.
And the worst is when you're eating like pizza and you're like also working on a computer and you're discussing pigs, so you don't have like paper towels. So your keyboard, you just look at your keyboard and it's like shiny. Like, what have I done? What have I done? I've made a huge mistake.
Keep in mind though,
I think that we just learned that I am the least clean on the podcast. But I don't think about these things.
But I don't judge by that. Like, if anyone else does like things that I find gross, I don't think like they're gross. It just grosses me out for me.
For personally. Like, yeah. That's cool. I like that. That's level-headed of you. Because most people are like, you're a disgusting human being, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Mm-hmm. Very good. Anton, you showing off the guns for the viewing audience? Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just trying to get comfortable in this fucking wooden torture chair.
All right. Well, I think I know what Anton's going to get for Christmas from
right.
the podcast.
So
yeah, Ryan, you and I can pitch in. The podcast will buy him a new chair.
Seriously, this whole podcast is like I'm fucking an Iron Maiden. Like, so bad. I don't know what it is.
Freaking Iron Maiden, like most depressing moment of my freaking adulthood. Like, you just learn things that you wish you never learned because it ruins it. And one of them was that the Iron Maiden is bullshit.
What? Like that wasn't a real thing?
It wasn't a real thing. Like somebody cobbled together a bunch of bullshit.
That's actually a good thing. I'm glad no one's ever gone through that. It seems like a legitimately horrible way to die.
Yeah, it's not fun, for sure.
No one really deserves that.
Yeah,
well,
I agree.
Some people do, but not most. A vast majority of people don't deserve it.
Right. There are very few who earn the Iron Maiden.
Like people who talk in the theater.
Yeah.
A special hell.
People who bring babies to adult movies. Those people deserve the Iron Maiden.
You're right, like, Anton. People who bring babies to porn, the worst.
The worst.
Gross.
God damn it.
No, it's
I understand now what I said, but
yeah, you for sure did. But I knew it. Yeah. There's a theater up in Salt Lake, and it's called the Broadway because that's the street it's on, like 3rd North, I believe it is Broadway, right? And it's funny because it's our independent, like one of 2 major independent movie theaters here in Utah. They're owned and operated by the Salt Lake Film Commission. Like, it's where we get all the movies that aren't screened at regular movies, like when they're considered too risque for Utah. So a lot of movies go through there. But what's funny is every time I tell my dad I'm going to see a movie up at the Broadway, he has to remind me that it used to be a porn theater because it was when he was a kid. And it's like, Dad, I get it. Like, you've told me this 150 times now. I totally understand. They've got new chairs. Everything's been refinished. It's not gross. It's going to be okay.
So how does it feel to enjoy like a regular movie, probably very close to where your dad has like sat with a public boner before?
I feel fine. Like, I would go to an adult movie with my dad today. It wouldn't bother me. Like, I don't care.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
That seems like a weird thing. I don't think I would do that.
No, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. Like, whatever. He's a man. He has needs. I get it. Whatever. You're both so awkward right now.
I don't have a reply. I
got nothing.
What's funny is like, okay, let me now be real. I do not get adult males who watch porn together. It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't think that one does.
No, because I have a true story.
Uh-oh.
I have a friend.
Hit us with it.
No. It's not me. But, so, I have met, I will say, 4 out of the 5 people directly involved in this story, and it has all been independently collaborated. Like, this is real. So, my friend, during college, lived in a house of 6 guys. Friend in college. So, he's in college. He comes home and they had a weekly thing, once per week. They would get KFC and watch porn together,
like
in the living room.
Jay off?
I don't know.
Or just like, let's watch it for its character development.
That's the thing, is it's like, why are you watching porn if that's not happening? But why is that happening with fried chicken and other men? Like,
lubrication
it's
from the
food
chicken.
and lube. Yeah, exactly. Like it's 2 in 1.
Just think about that for a second, and I think that you'll either start throwing up or you'll understand why that's a bad choice.
So do you think like now if they're just like out in public and they eat KFC, they just got like a raging hard on?
Dude, I bet. Anytime they smell fried chicken.
Yeah, it's like a Pavlov's like dog sort of thing.
Right.
It's like, oh no.
Oh god.
I'm so turned on by this popcorn chicken.
You know what gets me hard? The Colonel.
That's
he did.
That's really weird. The only time I would ever like watch porn with a friend is if this friend wouldn't leave me alone and I had to do something so drastic
to get him out of your house.
Yeah, I would like just put on some porn and be like, dude, Papa's clot. This is almost the good part. You'll never guess how this ends.
Right.
This was that point. Like, I'll recommend, like, if I see something that just has to be seen by other people, I'll be like, oh my god, dude, you gotta check out this movie Pirates. It's like, they really tried to make a movie, but it's still just porn. Like, check it out.
Yeah, that's socially acceptable.
Go
right.
do
that's
it in your
fine.
room.
You're not judged for that. Ryan, I've got one better. How you can raise it. Make sure that there's only one chair and invite them to sit on your lap. Just be like, sorry, I'm still getting furniture, but you can sit here with me if you want. And then just slowly, very slowly start unzipping your pants. And that'll do it. That'll do it.
That would, yes. I would hope that would do it.
Oh.
Unless they're down with it.
Right.
Then you're in worse
I guess
trouble.
that's a really quick way.
Yeah.
They have to test your commitment to the joke.
Yeah, you know that you're in trouble if he meets eye contact and also starts slowly unzipping.
Like, oh shit. What have I done?
Well, now we have a Mexican cock-off, and I don't know what to do.
So there's that for you.
Yeah.
Guys, I can't say I need to let my dog out. I already used that excuse. I don't know what else to do. Oh, we were going to talk about the thing I started talking about, Alien Isolation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I want to play that game, but it's $50 fucking.
Yes. I've
heard
wait.
quite a few. I mean, I've heard it's really not that long. Like, I've heard it's very, very difficult, and it's very, very good. But I heard that it's not very long. And I'm like, I really gotta stretch my dollar when it comes to games. Like, I gotta at least get like $1 per hour, you know? So if I'm gonna spend $50 on a game, I better get 50 hours of enjoyment out of it, like over its lifespan. Yeah. And I really feel like I get a solid 10 hours out of that game, tops.
Yeah.
Well, and is that even for the Nostromo pack, which is what I would want?
No, that's just the base game. That's just like if you buy it on Steam.
Yeah,
right.
So I need the Nostromo, and I'm a gigantic Alien like franchise fan.
Absolutely.
And I really want to play this, like amazing reviews, all that stuff, but I just can't spend that money on that game right now.
Yeah, no, there's no way. And it's like, I don't know, it's funny like how cheap I've become with video games now, because it's like, everything's getting better. I understand, you know what I mean? But it's crap like that where I'm like, I just can't justify it. Like $50.
And there's so many games that are coming out that are good quality independent games that are like $5 or $10 or $15. Like the market is seriously changing, and these AAA games are so hard to justify purchasing. You know,
right. Yeah,
like, I'll get it when it goes on sale.
Just go download Guacamelee. Like you will get hours and hours and hours of gameplay out of Guacamelee. You know what I mean? And the other thing is that makes it even harder for me is, you guys know, like my jam is horror, and I love survival horror. Zero replayability. Almost zero. You know what I mean? So it's like, that makes it even harder for me to justify thinking, I will never play this again. Like maybe if I have friends over who haven't seen it or don't know what it's all about, and then I can be like, oh yeah, hey, let's all play Alien Isolation, whatever. But that's it. Like by myself, there's no way. Like there's no point.
Blockbuster, where are you when I need you most?
Right, exactly.
Seriously.
Because it's like, even like, Anton, we've both talked about our love for Dead Space, and it's like, I honestly, like, I beat Dead Space and then I started going through it again to, like, try to 100% it. And I think I got, like, maybe a third of the way through it the second time, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. Like,
I'm done.
It's one of the greatest gaming experiences I've ever had, but it takes a lot out of it when you know all the scares, like, when you know what's going to happen.
Like, I have no shame saying that I've played every Dead Space game one time all the way through on normal difficulty. Like, I'm not going to replay it. I know the whole story, forwards and backwards. Right. And there's nothing new that's going to be added to the game. I mean, I still feel that I have the right to say that I'm, like, a huge fan of that series. And it's like a huge part of my gaming career. You know, you shouldn't have to play through a game like 10 times to say you're a gigantic fan. Right. So it's really hard, you know. I mean, and I bought those games full price because it's EA, but fuck, I still wanted to support the people who made it and give my support. But God, dude, it's getting harder and harder to do that.
You touched on two important things. One, like, everybody hates EA, but I mean, as someone who loves video games and kind of knows about the culture, you have to understand that EA is employed by people who work really hard to make games, and I want to support those people who work to make the games. I might not love the corporation and the choices that they make, but there's lots of people that work for EA that deserve money for making games.
Absolutely.
The other thing is, I hate the assholes who are like, oh, you're not a true video gamer if you don't play, like, the survival horror game on all the way difficult. And it's like, fuck you. Like, it's not fun. Like, if I'm just reloading and, like, slogging through an area a million times and the same jump scares are happening, I'm not getting anything out of it. I'll put it on normal difficulty so that I can enjoy the story and beat the game. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. And I put equal emphasis on mechanics and story and plot and characters. Like, all of those components are equal. And so if I really enjoy the story and I get through the story and I experience the story, that's a big chunk of my gaming experience. There are other games that are based, like fighting games or mechanics. You're not playing those for story. It's all about mastering the mechanics. And so you've got to put a lot of hours into that, and that's the experience. But for a story-driven game, I put, 50-50 on mechanics and on story. So once I've capped out that story, going back through and playing it on Nightmare Extreme mode that is super unfair and just makes it difficult for the sake of being difficult without adding anything to the game, that's where I draw, it's not that I draw the line, but I'm not going to waste my time.
Right. Well, and it's like there are some games, like I can say I think I beat Halo 2, and Halo Reach all on Legendary. And it's because I like FPSs. Like, it's fun. Adding the difficulty after I've already beat the game is fun. I get genuine enjoyment out of the strategy involved and trying to figure out how to get through every area when it's that hard. But stuff like horror games, there's no point. Like, there's no point at all. I don't get it. And, like, if you just want to measure dicks, that's fine. You win. You play horror games on hard. Congratulations. Like, you deserve every merit badge the Boy Scouts will give you. But I don't care. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of anger. I'm sorry.
Such anger, wow.
How do you really feel, John?
Well, just a little indigested. I need to eat more fiber.
You want to stay regular.
I know. Yep, it's important.
So, I don't know, we're talking sort of about gaming anyways, because we got on the topic, but did either of you guys ever get really invested in an MMO of any kinds?
No.
No? Okay. Well, so...
You got me into World of Warcraft for a week.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I think we said hi a couple times.
Yep.
But I don't know. See, like, so Blizzard announced, like, last week that they canceled Project Titan, which it was their 7-year project they had been working on. It was their new MMO to replace or succeed World of Warcraft. Uh-huh. So everyone's been really stoked about it, and they just canceled it. They said it's not working out. We spent 7 years on it. It's been a waste. It's not going to work. So we're scrapping the whole project. And it just was, I was thinking about the nature of MMOs, and I've played a lot of MMOs in my day, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to die off. I think it's kind of a dead genre, and I don't know, I was trying to think of other genres that have just, like, come, surged, and then completely died off, not to be touched again. And MMO might be the first really big one.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's interesting, though, because we live in, like, a weird renaissance time, right? Because platformers had kind of died off in a big way. Like, platformers just weren't a thing anymore, especially 2D platformers. Like, nobody cared. But then, like, there's this weird renaissance because, like, people like us are the ones making games, so all these callbacks to, like, games we enjoyed when we were young that are just, like, these brutal 2D platformers that are really, like, harder than they should be, but super fun and rewarding. So I don't know, like, I feel like I feel like I don't want MMOs to die, but I kind of want the current, I don't know, I want the system to change. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to adapt, because I want them to survive. Because video gaming, like, I would go so far as to say, like, maybe 50% of, like, the world's serious gamers are heavily invested in at least one MMO. Yeah. Like, whether it's anything, you know, it doesn't matter. You pick your poison. But, so, like, if it dies, that will be a huge blow to the gaming community in general. Like, a huge blow.
Well, Star Citizen's gonna come out, and that's a pretty effing huge PC-only game. I'm pretty excited about that.
You see, and I could see that. I could see MMO going PC-only. Like,
yeah, totally.
Because...
Well, it never works when they branch out to consoles. Every major MMO that's branched out to a console has never worked. I mean, it just, you can't mix and match.
Phantasy Star Online.
I mean... I think the only saving grace MMOs have is, of course, EverQuest Next, which is coming out probably next year or the year after. That's going to be a big push by a big developer, but I still feel like they're trying too hard to be WoW, and it's going to be another, you know, very distant, very vague, but still WoW clone, you know, which is and that genre of MMO. I mean, MMO has to change fundamentally and get all new mechanics to survive.
What do you feel about, or where would you place Destiny?
I think Destiny was a disaster, man. I imagine Destiny sales are going to continue to plummet, and it will be irrelevant in, I get it, 6 months maybe. So I will say, like, this wasn't a huge time investment, but I played Star Trek Online. Mm-hmm. I probably put in 100 hours. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was just a grind fest. Like that, if it wasn't like for like one of my friends playing with me, I probably only would have played it for like an hour. But I kind of still want to play, even like, I mean, now that it's free, I would still pay money for it if it wasn't free. But Star Wars: The Old Republic, I kind of wouldn't mind getting into that. But I don't know.
Well, and I mean, I temporarily played Guild Wars too, and I had a lot of fun. Like, I like it, and I feel like what MMOs do really well is they tap into that part of me that loved playing games at the arcade. Like, you get 3 friends, and you just pump quarters into Gauntlet Legends. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what MMOs were for me. And that was the niche they filled, where it's like, it's more fun when you have friends that you know, and it's like, hey, let's go do this, let's all get together and go, you know, whatever. Yeah. But then slowly, as I've gotten older, as like friendships have changed, people leave, people come in, I do not have enough friends who do MMO. Right, yeah, people get responsibilities. I don't have enough friends who actively play MMOs to make it worth my while. Like, it's not enough of a draw for me to hop online and play with random people. Like, I don't care. Now, fighting games, sure, I will jump online and beat people's asses and get my ass kicked by strangers I've never met, because that's that's fun to me. But when something like MMO, it has to be friends. Like, that's the only thing that drives it for me.
So I mean, yeah, I think that's true. Like, there's a certain age when players just sort of die off because of like marriage and kids.
Yeah.
And I guess careers sometimes, but like the more hardcore gamers are just going to keep playing along with their careers and just juggle both. But like, as of right now, if another big MMO, if like another like Facebook of MMO came around and I knew like you guys were playing or like a couple other people, I would jump on that ship. Yeah. Just because I missed out on World of Warcraft, and even though like I didn't enjoy the game, I want to have like that sort of experience where I've just years and years of dedicated to like online fun. And I'm not talking Second Life, that game.
Right.
Well, I mean, like, I know that this doesn't count, but to me, like, the last thing that I feel like I've really got that experience with was Left 4 Dead 2. Where it was like, get your friends together, let's all get online at the same time, and just play for hours, you know what I mean? The last time I could remember doing that, it was like Halo 1, when we were freaking Ethernet cabling at each other's houses and just playing Halo for hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just, we could blast away entire weekends just playing Left 4 Dead 2 together.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I really want that experience again, you know? I want something new. I'm just, you know, the WoW expansion is coming out. I'm going to play it. I play every WoW expansion just because, you know, it's like that. I don't know what you call it, but I've already invested so much time in it. I've got to touch on it at least and hit the level cap and experience it. But it really doesn't have that that spark anymore. It's just for the sake of it, nostalgia really. But I would love to have that again, like something else that comes out that I know I'm going to be like 2 or 3 years that with a group of friends that is going to be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to think of any way that could happen, and even just like the logistics of knowing that I have like a couple of friends that would be willing to do that as well is, I don't know if it'll happen. It's interesting.
Yeah. We just have to make it, you guys. We have to build that MMO. Yeah.
I guess I kind of did it with Minecraft. Like I had a bunch of friends, like a lot of friends that we all had a dedicated server, and we all played, sometimes at the same time. Sometimes we just wreck each other's shit when they were offline.
Yeah.
But like that was fun. That was kind of a cool experience.
Yeah, I sunk like a bunch of hours into Minecraft. And I loved it, but I actually just played it by myself. Yeah. I just lone starred it and just probably sunk like, I don't know, 200 hours into it, like one winter.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's stuff like Minecraft, as dumb as this is, that kind of gives me hope for MMOs. Like that's the proof in the pudding for me that they'll never die. Because something will come out. Something like Destiny, I agree, was a failure, but I feel like a lot of that was because Bungie's name was attached to it and people got way overhyped, right?
Yeah,
because
really hyped.
Right, I have now played Destiny, and if I take all of the marketing and everything I've subjected to out of it, Destiny's a really fun game. I had a really good time playing it. Like, it's very enjoyable. Now, if I take all the hype and all the marketing in, fucking waste. Like, it's terrible. It doesn't live up to the hype. For me, it's like so I got really into, on the original Xbox, Fable, right?
Yeah.
And like Fable was so cool, but everyone was really pissed because all these promises were made, right? About how it was going to be open world and you were just going to be wandering around this vast landscape where you could meet NPCs and you could either help them or not help them. And at this time, like that's still, at least in my life, was still a relatively new idea. Like you had Grand Theft Auto and you had these things, but the whole idea of like this massive world where you could just explore. And then Fable came out and it was super linear, really controlled, like straightforward. Do this, reach this objective, meet this person, do their task, And for me, it was like that same thing where it was like, yeah, I enjoy it. If I don't think about what I was promised, it's fun. But when I do think about it, it just pisses me off.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.